Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we're taking a closer look at a new model from Christopher Ward called C65 Aquitaine, named after the French region where Jacques Cousteau used to live. The C65 comes in three variants: a regular automatic, a COSC certified automatic done in bronze, and this, the steel-on-steel GMT. The GMT is powered by a Swiss-made automatic GMT from Sealander SW330-2 that beats away at 28,800 bph, comes with both hacking and hand winding, and an independently settable GMT hand, just like the Sealander I reviewed recently. While the Sealander is more of a modern sports GMT, this is inspired by vintage divers like the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. This is visible by the use of a more traditional markers, as well as the curved bezel insert that mimics bakelite bezels of the past. Unlike vintage ones, this one uses a sapphire insert, meaning it will not only resist scratches but also shouldn't fade nor crack over time. The bezel really sets the watch apart with the way it plays with the light, and it really goes perfectly with the domed crystal covering the dial. While the regular automatic is available in a couple of colors, this one is available in this white sand only. It is a nice color that has a certain warmth to it, but because of the sand-colored lume and silver markers in hands, rather than black ones, it does suffer when it comes to legibility. It is easily readable in broad daylight as well as in darkness, thanks to the really good lume. It is those situations in between that make it hard to read. When it's not too dark for the lume to kick in, and yet not light enough to read the dial clearly. In those situations, you kinda struggle to read where the hands are on the dial. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to warn you about it. When it comes to the hands, they did an amazing job when it comes to shape. They don't have a traditional sharp bevel in the center like we're used to, but are rather curved from side to side. This still gives you the same effect of having one side shine and the other stay dark, but instead of a clean and sharp transition, it has more of a gradient transition between the two, which goes really well with the curved bezel and domed crystal to complete the soft and warm vintage feel. The case is a well-known Christopher Ward light catcher case, as they call it, and it is spectacular. With this model, since the diameter has grown to 41 mm, they reduced the overall length by shortening the lug-to-lug to just under 47. But beware that the lug-to-lug of the whole watch, when you include the T-shaped end links, goes to just over 51, so if you have a really small wrist, switching this to a strap would be better. On my 6.7-inch wrist, it looks okay as the end links do curve downwards, and overall their fit to the case is almost perfect. With a taper to the amazing clasp that has an easy on-the-go adjustment, it is one of the most comfortable watches I have worn, and the overall thickness of under 13 is acceptable, especially given that a lot of that comes from the domed crystal, so in reality it wears more like a 12mm watch. The fit and finish of the case and bracelet is excellent, and the combination of brushed and polished surfaces definitely justifies the name light catcher. The finish of the dial and markers is also great, and only when we come to the hands does this show its weakness. I don't know if this is down to this exact example, but there are more than a few scratches on the hands and are not visible with your naked eye, but once you get down to a macro level, they really pop. This is a review sample that gets sent around, so I don't know if regular production models will suffer from the same finish, but Christopher Ward should definitely address it and make sure watches that go to the customers have better finished hands. With a price of $1,350, this is very close to the Sealander I reviewed, and although this one does have that charm of a vintage piece, and the curves of the bezel and hands are sexy, I personally prefer the Sealander. It is slightly smaller, sitting better on my smallish wrist, and it is more readable than this, which is something I always prefer. I also prefer the logo on the Sealander, as the twin flags used on this just seem too modern for this style of a watch. But that's just me. If you like it, go for it. It is really well made for the price. And if we ignore the scratches on the hands, which I'm sure are down to this being a more of a prototype than an actual production model, it is well finished as well. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.